Alright, so it's late at night and you want to learn how to do the Rubik's Cube. Well, it's going to go something like this. Rubik's Cube is pretty interesting. There's more combinations of color patterns than there are particles in the observable universe. But it doesn't matter how it's arranged. As long as you know the few simple steps, you can bring it back into color order. This is going to be like dancing. At first you're going to have to memorize the steps and they're just going to feel abstract and, well, unlike dancing, they're going to feel more like abstract things you just have to memorize until you get used to them. Then it's going to just feel like, oh, it's very intuitive. The good thing, one of the advantages about Rubik's Cubes is that it is physical. So, especially if you're good with hand memory stuff, this will be even easier to memorize. For me, I learned in a day. And that's because I'm really good at memorizing stuff. So, but anyway, I'm not going to teach you the formal way here because I'm literally in bed and I just want to talk for a little bit. So this is going to be a little bit less formal way of teaching it and therefore not as effective. But if you're just curious, then here we go. The first thing you need to do is make a cross with your chosen color. Everyone that I've seen that teaches it just talks about the white cross, but I don't see any reason why mathematically you can't do any other color starting point. But it looks like these things are optimized for white starting off first. So first, that's all you have to do is make a white cross. There's no algorithm for this one. So just however you can, just make the white cross. And when I say the white cross, remember, everything is one piece. So this is a piece, these three sides is a piece, this is a piece. So when I'm talking about any of these pieces, I'm talking about all of these parts. Maybe I'm specifically talking about one face, but I am talking about like the piece as a whole too. It has to be oriented in the correct pattern, and the face needs to be facing the correct way, which is part of that orientation, but it needs to be in the right spot and orientation. Anyway, so back to the cross. So when I say make the white cross, I do mean it does have to, the piece has to align with its color. So white and red will match with red, white and blue will match with blue, and so on. So far, you've not only solved these 5 pieces of the puzzle, but also these middle ones, because they never change. The middle parts never move or change, so they're always at their home base. I'll call it like white base, orange base, blue base, or some similar terminology. But yeah, anyway, so that's what you do. And now here comes your first algorithm once you do that. So there's no algorithm for it. There's no process to follow, but it's also not particularly hard either. It's fairly free form. So you just get this done, and then you can continue on to the next step. Alright, so once you get here, the next step is just to get these corner pieces right. So what you do is you find a corner piece that is technically correct. So for example, here's blue base and orange base. So I'm going to be looking for a white piece that also has orange and blue on it. And it could also be up here, because these things might not be correct. And this one almost is, it's orange and green. So I'm looking for an orange and blue now. Wait, red and blue, not correct. The lighting today sucks too. Oh wait, it's right here, orange and blue. Oh, it's right here. So in order, I'm going to have to loosen this one up. So I'm just going to throw this down here and put it down here in the mix. Alright, and so the orange and blue one's right here, and orange and blue home is right here. So I'm putting it right here in between, and I want to put it up here in this position. The algorithm is pretty simple. You just go down on this side, and this way, and then back. Down, left, up, right, and you just keep following that little motion until it's in its correct place and correct orientation like it is now. You can also do this with the other side too, just with the opposite direction. Not everything is reversible like that, but in this particular case, you can do it with either side. But it's usually easier just to remember the one. Okay, so now we have red and blue here. So here's red and here's blue. So I'm just going to leave it here. And as you see, it's going to be up here in the correct orientation after a few goes. It may take some time, but it'll get there. So there we go. Now that one's solved. So we only have one more left. 2 more. Oh, yeah, you gotta be careful. This one's actually wrong. So now that I've identified it, I might as well get out the way. Alright, so speaking of which, orange and green base is right here. So let's just go ahead and put that in. Until it's, again, that was in the right spot, but the wrong orientation. So we're going to have to keep doing it until it realigns itself in the correct way. Alright, and that did it. So now it's in the correct pattern, the correct way. So now there's just that one more, and here's the white piece, and we know exactly where that goes. So in fact, I think we're going to do a little cheating here from the algorithm. I'm going to just toss it to the side here so I can get a one go. Or that didn't work. It's a yellow piece. Did I find the wrong piece? Oh, here it is. It's over here. That would have worked if it was the right piece, but it's not. Man. Yeah, this lighting is actually making things really terrible. Maybe it's just not a good idea to do this stuff in the dark. Okay, it's right here. Right here. I'm not getting any closer with this one. Okay, there we go. Now I got it. Alright, I did a little mess up there. So now that, as you see, this entire layer is now solved. Everything's where it needs to go. All the pieces are correct. So, and you also have the middle piece. So now you just flip it over and have yellow on top now. So now you don't have to worry about the white anymore unless you make a mistake. So now the yellow part's the top part that you're going to want, and you can solve from any side. Your main goal here is to solve the second entire layer now. You're just going to go straight from solving one layer to the next. Basically in 2 moves. So that's pretty cool. Now what you want here is that you want to say, okay, you don't want any pieces with yellow. You're not going to be fiddling with them. So this is green and orange. So I find green base and orange base right here. Perfect. I can get started. So this is what I call the youre. Alright, so youre. This comes from the formal, making fun of the normal way of talking about this. This is U for up. This is left. This is right. This is front. Down. So these are different ways you can move the pieces. And so youre just simply means, oh, you are. So youre. F U F, like that. And now the piece is in the right spot. It went from here to here. So this algorithm does this, moves it from here to here. I think most of the other pieces are undisturbed. None of these layers will be affected, and you don't really care about the top layer. So basically speaking, you're moving something from here to here, and it's undisturbed, basically, for all the pieces you care about. So every step of the way of making the Rubik's Cube, you're going to basically not undo any of the work as before. Alright, so again, how you do this is you want to find the piece that's facing you, and you just make sure that's facing in its home base like that, and then you can move it to the right spot. So this is red and blue, and the red base is right here, so we're going to do another youre transformation right here. So again, youre, and then we're going to do the backwards version of that, youre, F U F. Alright, now it's in the correct spot. Okay, now we're going to do this. Now this one's green, or sorry, orange and blue. So we're going to try to find the orange and blue one right here. Okay, blue is the home base. Now we're going to do the opposite. This is youle. So youle goes like this. You start off on unfriendly terms by turning it this way. F U F. This is actually the one I'm much more familiar with and much more comfortable with doing, and now they're all solved. So this cube wasn't very well shuffled, I guess, but now they're all solved like this. So now we can work on the top layer. Now working on the top layer requires a few extra steps, more steps than what we just did 2 steps. in 2 algorithms, we solved these 2 ones. This one's we're going to require 2 to 3 algorithms, just depending on exactly how well it's shuffled. Because, again, we don't want to undo what we've already done. We care about the fact that we've solved this already. So because of that, it's going to take a little bit more finesse work. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to do the frou-frou. All right, so what we have here is these yellow pieces, and you can start off with 3 possibilities where there's just 1 yellow dot in the middle, which is always going to be the case. You might start off with the case where there's these 2 in an L-shaped going around, or that there's 3 in a row. So it's like a Pokemon evolving. You have the first evolution, second and third evolution, and right now we're in level 2. We want to get to level 3. So you just do the same thing 3 times in a row, actually. So first of all, you orient this piece, or you oriented this on top in an L-shaped pattern like this, a backwards L, and then you do frou rough. It's actually technically frou rough. I call it frou. All right, so F R U, and then go unfriendly terms. Unfriendly meaning counterclockwise. R U F, and again everything's redone, but now we have that yellow line that I was talking about. And now once you get here, you do it one last time. All right, so frou rough, F R U, and then we're going to do everything prime, which is counterclockwise. R U F. Are you serious? All right, and now we have the yellow cross. So we had the white cross initially, now we have the yellow cross, which is what we're working towards. All right, now we have, I think, 2, or maybe now it's 2 or 3 more steps to do. And so with this one, now we want to make sure to get that these pieces are in the correct spots. That we were just making the cross before superficially on the top. We want the yellow pieces to be in the right spots. So right now we have yellows connected to green base correctly. Good job. Red base. Okay, these 2 are wrong. All right, so we want to take the ones that are right, and we want to make them on the top right corner now. Okay, these 2 are right, so we put them there. And now we're going to do an algorithm called soon. All right, and soon works like this. So it's rooter. Again, now I'm going unfriendly terms. Rooter. You do it 2 times. Rooter, and then you're finished. You just undo it, and now we see we have orange here. Let's line it to orange. Okay, orange is correct, blue is correct, red is correct, and green is correct. Okay, all these are correct. All right, so now we have H case left, and basically the first step, but a little bit different. All right, so let's see. Are all these in the correct spot? The corner pieces. That's all we care about now is the corner pieces. Are they in the correct spot? And the answer is no. Orange is not one of these 2 colors. This one's wrong. This one's red and blue. Again, that one's also wrong. Green and red. This one's orange and red. That one's wrong. Orange. These are all... Oh, these are all wrong. All right. So let's do some H case to fix that up. You're supposed to do H case when one of them is right, but oh well. So I call it H case because it looks like a bookshelf. Oops. Yeah. You go this way, yeah. So you go this, and it also looks like an H because you're kind of like getting both whites on both sides coming back. Okay, and so let's see. Are any of these right now? Let's see. Red and blue. So this one's correct. And that's all we have to worry about. As long as we get one of them correct, that's all we have to worry about. So now let's do H case for real. But this time we want to do it with the correct one in mind. All right, so H case again, you just shift the top, bring the first bookcase, I like to think of it as, bring it up, put it away. The second one goes up, slice that to the side, put that one down, put this and that, do this, and have it all back. All right, orange and blue now, that one's correct. Red and blue, this one will always stay the same. You don't have to worry about that. This one's fully correct. This piece is fully correct. And this one's in the right spot, but disoriented. Perfect. Now we can do the very last step for solving the Rubik's Cube. And it's going to be very similar to what we did up here, just a little slightly more finessing, slightly more complicated. Because here, we didn't care about any of these other pieces. This time, we do. So you find one of the ones that needs correcting, which is this one. The yellow needs to go on top, red needs to go right here, blue needs to go right here. So just like we did in the first place, we're going to go down, throw it out, go back up, put it back. And we're just going to keep doing that until it's in the correct orientation. All right. Yes, that's correct. Yellow's on top, red's here. Okay, everything's good. And as you see that we jumbled this up on the bottom, which is okay. So now what we need is to turn this one at the top to the right. We're technically undoing the order, but remember this is only going to affect the corner piece we're playing with. That's the only one that's going to be affected, other than some of these pieces here on the layers we've already solved. This is technically the only time we're going to be, you know, undoing our work in a way, but it's very temporary. So again, we want to make sure that yellow piece is on top and in the correct orientation, which it now is, okay? So we only have one more piece that's out of alignment, and we bring it over here. Again, before, we didn't have to worry about, like, anything. Anyway, we just got to make sure the only thing that's rotating is this. We're not rotating the cube. Don't rotate the cube. We're only rotating the top row and keeping our thumbs or whatever, keeping everything oriented the same spot. All right, again, we want to do this, and after this, the cube will be basically fully solved. All right. And here we go. Oh, crap. And this is what happens when you do in the dark, because I messed up the orientation of the last thing. Okay, well, technically speaking, if I didn't mess up the pattern that I was doing there, if I didn't have done that, then this would have been fully solved, because this fixes itself up. Because you're doing the same similar pattern, it just fixes itself as you keep doing it. Like it'll unfix itself, fix, and then by the time you're done, it's fully done. Unfortunately for me here, though, we've got I didn't do that part right, so we ended up with a messy bottom, but the rest are not okay. Technically, though, what we could do is do everything again. Since this is all solved, we could just do everything again and start like from the backwards part. So almost all of this entire part solved right here. So how about I just try it from the backwards part? Okay, let's get red and blue. Where's blue, red and blue? All right, let's do. Okay, I want a youre. Okay, that's all solved. Alright, let's go back to the top. I have this, so let's do the free rough. F R U R U F. Alright. There we go. F R U. Ooh, wrong way. U R U F. And it takes out one mess up, and like everything's done for. Okay. So let's put this at the correct spot. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, not so bad. I don't have to commit soon. So now I just have to do kind of what I was doing before with H case. This one's correct, not correct. So let's do some H case to fix this up. Alright, so put it to the side. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alright, fixed, correct. Alright, now let's redo the algorithm I was supposed to get right the first time, but screwed up on. Okay, 1, 2. I think what happened was I forgot to twist the thing backwards. I got what I was looking for, and I was like, okay, I'm done. It's like, no, you gotta commit. See, I don't stop here, I finish it. There we go. Now I take it like this, and do the same thing until it's fixed. Alright, and now the Rubik's Cube is solved. And it's a little bit out of order, but all I gotta do is twist it. Alright, so here's orange. Here's orange. Rubik's Cube is solved. Day is saved.